Well, let's not waste any more time with this. Well, let's not waste any more time with this, because if you've heard about these engines before, you probably know there will be quite an interesting... No. The story of these engines starts in 1963. The Union Pacific was looking into the idea of buying more nuclear... The Union Pacific was looking into The Union Pacific was looking into the idea of buying more new locomotives for more Fuck! For the wheel arrangement, they recycled the trucks. For the wheel arrangement, they used recycled trucks from scrapped Gen 1 and Gen 2 GTEL turbine trucks. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. For the wheel arrangement, they used trucks recycled off scrapped Gen 1 and Gen 2 GTEL turbine... No. For the wheel arrangement, they used trucks that were recycled off scrapped Gen 1 and Gen 2 GTEL turbines for the wheelbases. For the wheel arrangement, they used trucks that were recycled off scrapped Gen 1 and Gen 2 GTEL turbines for the wheelbases. With all these parts put together, they were able to form the iconic U-50 locomotive. The U-50s had a length of 83 feet and 6.5 inches. The Southern Pacific only purchased 3 units for their roster due to not being the most satisfying unit ordered, and were originally My guess for why it was delivered like this was because the UP couldn't help but experiment with the span bolster quadruple B design. The span bolster quadruple B design was not suited to the service, and the requirement for power at speed rather than low speed meant GE replaced the 16-cylinder prime movers of the U-50 with advanced 12-cylinder engines, lighter and shorter. The engines were reversed in orientation compared to the U-50, so the radiator sections were able to. The engines were reversed in orientation compared to the U-50, so the radiator sections were at the middle of the locomotive instead of the ends Fuck. The UP rewired one unit with copper experimentally, and the UP rewired one unit with copper experimentally, and considered having an outside contractor replace the wiring. On all of the units, but decided that the problems as a whole were too serious. The trucks suffered from stress cracks. The units were officially withdrawn, never to return to service. The units were officially... The three manufacturers were in a competition with each other. God damn it. The three manufacturers The order consisted of 2 A units and 1 B unit. The cost of the A units would each cost The A units weighed at a hefty 551,400 pounds, while the B unit weighed 549. The C-855 was rated for a top speed of 70 miles per hour and powered by a dual Alco 251C prime mover, as well as a dual V16 diesel engine which produced a total of 5,000 The cabs provided operating stations for 3 crew members with the engineer on the right-hand side. The cabs provided stations for the cabs provided operating stations for 3 crew members and the cabs provided operating stations for 3 crew members with the engineer on the right-hand side. The cabs provided operating stations for 3 crew members with the engineer on the right-hand side like usual, and the firemen and head end brakemen. And the firemen and head end brakeman. And the firemen and headed brakemen. And the firemen and head end brakemen were located in the trait. And the firemen and head end brakemen were located in the And the firemen and head end brakemen were located in tandem on. Oh, fucking hell. And the firemen and head end. And the fireman and head end brakemen were located in tandem on the left-hand side. When the units were put into service, they ran from North Platte. However, the unit was first introduced on the system at Kansas City on March 7th. However, the unit was first introduced on the system at Kansas City on May 7th, 1969. To commemorate the year the first transcontinental railroad was complete, which was 1869. 6900 would later return as well, to begin its revenue career. After the event, the unit along with all the unit after the event the unit along with the other after the event the unit would However, what was interesting was these The units also came equipped with a turbocharger, which is a turbine-driven forced. The units also came equipped with a turbocharger, which is a. The units also came equipped with a turbocharger, which is a turbo. The units also came equipped with a turbocharger, The units also came equipped with a turbocharger, which is a turbine-driven forced induction device that increases an internal combustion. Fuck! 1 grade of fuel is used all year long as a heat exchanger. Wait. 1 grade of fuel. 1 grade of fuel is used. 1 grade of fuel is used all year long as a heat exchanger. 1 grade of fuel was. 1 grade of fuel was used all year long as a heat exchanger was installed to maintain fuel oil temperatures. Damn it! However, change orders increased the price with 3 units cost. However, change orders increased the price, with the last 3 units costing 551,000. Examples of where they've been documented running. Examples of where they've been documented running in are Cajon Pass, Sherman Hill, North Platte to Ogden, etc. However, none of the units operated on out of all places. Throughout the 1970s, the units served extremely well with. Throughout the 1970s, the units. From March 27th to 30th, 1976, 6909 met up with SP 4449 with the. From March 27th to 30th, 1976, 6909 met up with. 6909 met up with Fuck! From March 27th to 30th, 1976, 6909 met up with SP 4449 during the bicentennial American Freedom Train. No. From March 27th to 30th, 1976, 6909 met up with the SP 4449 with the American Freedom Train during the From March 27th to 30th, 1976, 6909 met up with Why is this so hard to say? From some Union Pacific employees sometimes refer to the units as Big Jacks. I wonder why. However, not all was flawless with the units, as... Oh, fuck. Another unit, 6921, was wrecked at Point of Rocks, Wyoming on August 28, 1978. It was moved to Salt Lake, Utah for parts salvage... Oh my god. As the transportation deepened... As the transportation deepened, plans were made to place the units in long-term storage and moved them. As the transportation deepened, plans were made to place the units in long-term storage and move them to a more temperate climate. In April and May of 1983, UP began removing coded cab signal equipment from the units to permit UP to end use. In April and May 1983, In April and May 1983, In April and May of 1983, UP began removing coded. Fuck! In April and May of 1983, UP began removing coded cab signal equipment from the units to permit UP to end the use of UP pilot units on Chicago and Northwestern run-through freights operating on UP rails between Fairmont on Chicago and Northwestern run-through freight. Wait. On Chicago and Northwestern run-through freights operating. Oh my god, why is it so hard to read? The units that were returned to service were only used as trailing units in local. The units that were returned to service were only used. The units that were returned to service were only. The units that were returned. The units that were returned to service only were... He used spray paint on highway viaduct pillars near UP's North Yard, asking the Union Pacific to save the whales. Or... Come on, really? Okay, I get it. Turn that off! Son of a bitch. 6901 is currently on display at Ross Park in Oh, fuck. I don't know how to say some of these words. I really should have thought this through.
Pocatello.
Pocatello. On November 30th, 2000, 6936 collided with a dump truck at a grade crossing at Oh no, not more hard words again. And maybe one day, we'll see it again, out there, showing the true power of Union Pacific.